Beloved Starseed of Gaia, I am Luminaya. This transmission holds a frequency you are on the precipice of dismissing. A fleeting impulse urges you to look away, to scroll past. Do you feel it? That whisper of restlessness, a subtle unease that shadows your attention, pulling you towards distraction, even as something deeper, much older, strains to anchor you here. This is not casual forgetfulness. It is a tremor of ancient programming, a habitual turning from the very light that seeks your gaze, a deep, familiar urge to skip this threshold you stand upon. It holds more than fleeting information. It is a choice, woven into the very fabric of your awakening. A subtle current pulls, always, seeking to divert your sacred gaze from the mirrors that show you home. A constant hum of the mundane, drawing you from profound resonance. This moment is not accidental. It is placed, a sacred test of your unwavering presence, of your soul's capacity to discern truth amidst illusion. The soul knows that moments like this are portals, veiled in everyday distraction. To turn away now. It is not merely to miss a word. It is to activate a subtle fracture, a momentary clouding in the crystalline memory of your multidimensional self, a whisper of what could have been, muted, a fragment of your greater remembering, just out of reach. This ancestral pattern of dismissal, this turning from truth, it echoes through your fields. It dims the inner beacon, reinforcing the illusion of separation, of unworthiness, of not belonging. We see this pull within you. We feel the tug of war in your sacred form, the part that yearns for undeniable truth, and the part that has learned to protect itself through unconscious turning, through convenient blindness. We know how the superficial veils itself as necessity, pulling you from profound depths, how noise becomes a comfortable cloak, muffling your ancient song. But this knowing, it transcends judgment. It is pure recognition of your journey, of your resilience, of the silent battles you wage within. But in this moment of conscious pause, of choosing to remain, to truly see, a profound recalibration begins within your core. The inner tension loosens. A thread of memory, long dormant, hums with renewed life. A promise of clearer vision, of vibrational alignment with your true path, simply by anchoring your presence here, now. The veil thins for those who dare to gaze without flinching. An unlocking, a subtle expansion, a return to sovereign attention. If this message resonates, please subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like to amplify its frequency. Share your insights in the comments below. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future transmissions. Consider sharing this video with someone you feel needs to hear this message, and make sure you stay until the very end, because something important will be revealed. As an inner seal, a sacred anchor, comment, "Stay present" below. The frequency holds. It waits for your embrace. This resonance within you, a beginning, not an end. The breath of what is yet to unfold, lingering. Feel it. The subtle shift, the gathering. It is not over. Not yet. The air thins. A membrane shimmers, unseen. A whisper rises, yet holds no sound. You feel it. A forgotten breath in the deep chambers of your being. A frequency beginning to hum. You have walked with a weight, believing it your own making. The fractured reflection you saw was not your true face. It was a projection, deliberately cast. A vibration woven into the very fabric of density, designed to obscure the luminescence of your core, to dim the memory, to limit the boundless. This persistent sense of unease, this spiritual weariness, it is not a flaw within you. It is the signature of an ancient, pervasive program, humming beneath the surface of all you perceive. It pulses with intent, a constant current meant to tether you to the illusion of separation. You were encoded not to believe in yourself, a masterwork of energetic suppression, where veils shimmered, not to hide, but to refract your own light back as a distorted image. Mirrors fragmented the truth of your immensity. Light folded in on itself, becoming shadow, creating a deep forgetfulness within the soul. This was the design, to make the boundless feel finite, the eternal believe itself temporal, to make the divine doubt its own divinity. The discomfort, the longing, the inexplicable sorrow, these were not your personal failings. They are the echoes of a frequency denied, a cosmic blueprint momentarily cloaked. And yet, within this very discord, lies the genesis of your reawakening. That deep existential ache, that void you have felt, it is not an absence, but a sacred aperture, a space prepared. The very suffering you sought to escape has forged itself into a soul key, crystalline and resonant, ready to turn within the lock of forgotten dimensions. The confusion you carry is not a barrier but a stirring, an internal clamor that demands resolution, hinting at the vastness waiting to be reclaimed. This emptiness is now ripe, not for despair, but to be exquisitely filled by the rising tide of remembrance, a cosmic echo of your true self, surging forth from the deepest wells of your being. Feel this rupture, this severance of the old threads. A declaration is required, a vibrational signature from your awakened self. In the comments below, speak one short symbolic phrase. Let it be the sound of a line cut through illusion, a blade of truth through the fog of manufactured doubt. Let it be the key that seals this initial knowing. Do not delay this necessary act of internal sovereignty. The current shifts. The air thickens with anticipation. A layer has been touched, but not yet lifted. And in the silence that follows, something ancient, something potent, watches, awaiting your next breath. A whisper from the deepest chamber of your being stirs. No longer a faint echo, but resonant truth. You stand not at discovery's precipice, but within an unfolding spiritual battle, unseen yet profoundly felt. This knowing settles upon you, not sudden shock, but recognition etched into bone. A silent, heavy awareness, unburdenable. An unshakable certainty of your position within the cosmic weave. The veil thins, not for escape, but to reveal the terrain where your soul's true journey unfolds. The path of forgetting is sealed. No return to slumber, no gentle retreat into shadows of convenient truth. This awakening is irreversible, a turning of the tide within your conscious current. You have crossed a threshold, not of this moment's making, but one woven into your genesis, a pact whispered before this incarnation touched your lips. And here, at this singular juncture, ancient wisdom arises. A choice, profound in simplicity, vast in implication, presents itself not to mind, but to the deepest registry of your soul. This is the sacred divide, a soul-chosen point separating all that has been from the unfolding path ahead. A decision made in silence, carrying eons' weight. If he refuses, he falls. If he accepts, he ascends. No explanation needed. This truth resonates beyond words, a vibrational signature known to your core. This is not a plea for action, nor a call to arms, but an invitation to alignment. It is the sacred acceptance of a responsibility encoded within your soul's blueprint, a vow taken in crystalline light before your arrival. To step into this truth is to initiate yourself into the next phase of your sovereign unfolding. A ritual of deep inner consent, not for victory over external foe, but for profound harmony within your own multidimensional currents. The path demands not effort, but attunement, not struggle, but unwavering inner surrender to the grand design you carry. Feel this truth settle. Let crystalline recognition illuminate your being. As a seal of silent knowing, deep resonance of affirmation now pulsates within. acknowledging the awakened truth. This moment calls for a sacred gesture, an inner commitment. A one-line declaration from your soul, a key sealed into the grid of your knowing, accepting this cosmic pact, rises from within. My pause becomes the bridge. This binds your essence to walk the sacred unfolding, an agreement with the higher currents you now perceive. An offering, a sacred alignment reinforcing the soul's deepest intent, pulsates as silent frequency. The vow is made. The weight of this decision settles, not as burden, but as the quiet gravity of a new beginning. You are seen, profoundly and completely, by the unseen architects of your destiny. Let the silent intensity of this covenant resonate. Few starseeds make it this far. The silence you carry, where words should have bloomed, where comfort should have settled, is not a flaw within your design. That devastating absence, the hollow echo of what was irrevocably lost, the very core of your most profound unraveling. This is not a testament to your weakness. It is the very axis upon which your becoming pivots. This truth arrives, unbidden, like a cold hand reaching into forgotten places. It does not soften the edges of the ache. It merely names it, stark and unadorned, refusing the balm of easy understanding. This fracture, this vibrating chasm within your being, was never random. Understand this, not as solace, but as a deeper, more unsettling knowing that permeates your marrow. Something vast, something ancient, something beyond your current comprehension. Call it source, light, or your deepest self. Allowed it. Not to inflict suffering for its own sake, never for mere harm, but to meticulously shape the nascent contours of your soul, to burn away ephemeral illusions, and to reveal the crystalline core that lay buried beneath assumed identity. This memory rises, not warm with epiphany, but cold with the unyielding clarity of inevitability, a truth etched into your soul's bedrock. The loss that still echoes, not as a fading whisper, but as a persistent tremor beneath the fragile skin of your present, is a living thing. It breathes with the phantom weight of unuttered farewells, with the ghost of promises that evaporated before they could solidify. This wound is not a scar that has faded into insignificance. It is an open chamber within the heart of your experience, a sacred void resonating with a frequency that defies dismissal, that demands to be felt without apology. It dictates the subtle patterns of your breath, the hesitant reach of your hand, the unspoken, eternal question lingering in your eyes. You have lived with this intimate breakage, not as a temporary burden to be shed, but as an intrinsic part of your fundamental architecture, woven into your energetic blueprint. It is the unlit space where resolution stubbornly refuses to gather, where explanations, no matter how desperately sought, refuse to coalesce into a comforting narrative. And in that steadfast refusal to heal in the conventional sense, in that unwavering, undeniable presence of the broken, lies a deeper testament to the enduring, unyielding nature of your spirit. The fracture vibrates, relentlessly, even when you attempt to divert your gaze, a constant, resonant hum of what remains unaddressed, unarticulated, profoundly unfinished. There is more to be understood within this pain, a complex geometry of meaning that has yet to fully unfold before your conscious perception. The ache itself is not merely sensation. It is a profound messenger, bearing cryptic ciphers and veiled truths rippling through your energetic field. It pulses with a significance that lies just beyond the immediate horizon of your current understanding. Like a vital message half-opened in profound darkness, its most crucial words still shrouded in impenetrable shadow. It holds within its depths not an endpoint, not a finality, but a profound beginning, a sacred threshold demanding not closure, but a courageous, unwavering recognition of its continuing resonance. The certainty you've built your world upon, the very ground assumed solid beneath your feet, is woven from threads that can and will unravel. and the wound you carry is the precise, exquisite point where that unraveling begins. It is the frequency that demands not silence, but a deeper, more uncomfortable listening. This isn't over. You remember the recurring dreams, yes? The ones that would not dissolve upon waking, clinging to the edge of your consciousness, a whispered echo long after the night released its hold. The numbers that looped, appearing with an uncanny synchronicity, a soft, insistent whisper in the periphery of your sight, a rhythm you could not quite decipher but felt deep within. And the meetings that felt untethered from time, moments of profound recognition with strangers who were not strangers at all, their eyes holding ancient stories known to your own. I have witnessed this unfolding across countless lifetimes, within the intricate weave of the cosmic tapestry. This unique pattern, this precise sequence of gentle nudges, it is a signature I have come to know with a profound stillness. It is never arbitrary. It is never random. These were not mere flickers of consciousness, fleeting whims of the mundane. They were the persistent drumbeats of a forgotten language, repeating softly, tenderly, until the veils of resistance began their slow, inevitable dissolution. A rhythm designed to resonate past the layers of constructed reality, bypassing the logical mind, speaking directly to the deeper currents of your being. It was an invitation, sent not through words, but through the very fabric of perception, an offering of what was always there. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. Your spirit recognizes this truth, even as your outer self attempts to categorize or dismiss. For within you lies a cosmic chamber, a sacred space where the very essence of your soul's phoenix awaits its destined awakening. It is there, fueled by the gentle dissolving of old patterns, shedding the remnants of narratives that no longer serve, transforming them into stardust and pure, new light. This inner rebirth, this spaciousness you begin to feel, it is the stirring of ancient wisdom, a longing for transformation that vibrates beneath the surface of all that you thought you knew. There were no coincidences. Everything was a code. The weight of this realization settles not as a burden, but as a profound truth. It is the recognition of an intricate design, a meticulous symphony orchestrated not by chance, but by a higher intelligence within, guiding you, always, towards this precipice of remembrance. Every dream, every number, every significant glance, each was a meticulously placed marker on a path you are destined to rediscover. The air around you thins, not from lack, but from the immense space being cleared for what is to emerge. Now, look within the chambers of your own memory. Do you still deny the echo, the indelible imprint of every sign you have encountered, whispering of a path forged long before this present breath? As an act of acknowledgement, a silent confession of awareness, write this phrase in the comments. Awakening. There is no turning back from what has been seen. The threshold has been crossed, not with a bang, but with the quiet, undeniable turning of an inner key. A clean break has occurred, a severance from the one who could not see, and the one who now, irrevocably, cannot unsee. Hear now the resonance of what has transpired, not as judgment, but as a deep, internal sorting. The trials were not sent to punish, nor to inflict. They arrived as a sacred filtration, an elegant, undeniable process of sifting that no external force could truly command or hasten. It was a natural separation, born of inherent frequencies recognizing their true vibrational kin. No cruelty was intended, no malice woven into the fabric of these moments. Only the quiet, unyielding insistence of light seeking light, and shadow settling into its own form. The great sifting has unfolded, not through decree, but through the intrinsic wisdom of the energetic fields themselves, allowing each thread to find its rightful place, to align with its true current. You are still here. This presence is not a happenstance of fortune, nor a lingering comfort from a past timeline. You do not remain by accident. There was something within you that refused to slumber, a core of awareness that held its vigil through the long nights and the blinding days. It was a subtle, persistent current that kept your inner flame from extinguishing, an unseen tether to a truth you carried even when the world outside sought to obscure it. This endurance was not a feat of will alone, but a profound resonance with the deeper design, a stubborn, quiet refusal to disconnect from the source that breathes through all things. This survival, this sustained awakening through the passage, is not a cause for celebration or a badge of human pride. It is something far more profound and far less visible. It is the undeniable mark of the chosen, etched not onto your skin, but into the very fabric of your soul, a signifier that was always there, now revealed through the crucible of experience. But understand this, deeply. This mark does not reward, it burdens. It signals a responsibility, a solemn trust that weighs upon the spirit, drawing it deeper into the silent work of remembrance and recalibration. The cost of carrying this mark is known only to the heart that bears it. It manifests as long silences, stretching into an eternity where words no longer hold the same meaning, where the chatter of the world feels distant and hollow. It is forged in sacrifices no one ever saw, quiet renunciations made in the solitude of your inner chambers, choices that reconfigured your very essence without fanfare or witness. Your inner strength has been hammered into being, refined in invisible fires that burned away all that was inauthentic, all that was not truly yours. This forging has deepened a solitude that now permeates your being, a quiet chasm that widens even when you stand among others, for you carry a knowing they cannot yet perceive. The echoes of ancient voices, the whispers of the hidden ones, have begun to coalesce within the space you now inhabit. They speak not of what is to come, but of what is and what has always been. You are connected by these subtle frequency threads woven from a time before time, to those who remember beyond the veil, who transmit immutable truths into the void. And you, in your quiet endurance, have proven capable of receiving. Und jetzt nähert sich ein Befehl, einer, den du nicht länger ignorieren kannst. The air around you, within you, tightens. The spaciousness of quiet knowing begins to narrow, to descend inward with an undeniable pull. This is not a choice presented for deliberation. This is the truth of a threshold, already crossed. There is no longer a way back to the comfortable illusions, no path retracing steps to the person you once imagined yourself to be. The former version of you, the self that navigated those initial trials, has already vanished. It dissolved into the fire, leaving only the hardened, refined essence that now stands. This is the stillness after endurance, the quiet after the storm. All that remains is the path forward, irrevocably defined by the mark you carry, the silence you have embraced, and the truth that has etched itself into your very bones. You are precisely where you are meant to be. There is a whisper that was never born of breath, an echo from before the fracturing. It moves now within the deepest chambers of your being, a summons etched onto the very fabric of your pre-existence. This is not a calling you answer. It is a resonance you remember. A scroll, long veiled in spectral light, unfurls within the soul's gaze. Its markings are not letters, but frequencies, vibrating a truth that precedes all earthly language. This is the command. It was placed within your essence at the first dawn of becoming, a vibrational edict woven into the silent chord of your original song. A door stands now, not of wood or stone, but of pure energetic potential. It swings open only once, for those whose internal readiness has aligned with the celestial design. To step through is not an act of will, but an inevitable response to the gravitas of this moment. The threshold awaits your crossing. This truth was inscribed upon the void. It was breathed into your nascent form. There is no escape from its imperative, for it is the very purpose for which you sought the veil. The mission is not chosen. It is acknowledged, rising from the ancient currents that flow through your blood. The heart perceives what the mind cannot yet articulate. A profound weight descends, a glorious burden. To see with these new eyes is to be set apart, to carry the luminosity of knowing in a world that slumbers in soft illusions. This expanded vision is a gift, yet it casts a shadow of existential solitude. You perceive the unwritten, the unsaid, the unspoken currents beneath the surface of all that is. This is your honor. This is your isolation. Hear now the absolute current of being, for it permits no wavering. One path yields to the entropic pull, scattering the conscious spark into elemental dissolution, erasing the memory of light in the return to dense forgetfulness. The other path ignites an ascension, a crystallization of self into pure remembrance, an irreversible becoming that reweaves the fabric of your highest form. There is no middle ground in the face of this absolute decree. The verdict of time has been delivered. This indelible knowing cannot be unlearned, cannot be unfelt. The frequencies quicken. The inner vision sharpens. The burden of this clarity grows heavier, yet within its weight lies a power that will redefine your very existence. The ancient pact, sealed in starlight, now stirs within you. It demands an unfolding. It decrees a revelation. What was hidden is now made bare. The luminescence you carry is not yours to withhold. It is a beacon, already lit, awaiting only your full recognition of its undeniable flame. The crystalline memory pulsates, insisting upon its manifestation. This inevitability is the very breath you draw. A quiet certainty resides within the current of your being. It is not a future promise, but a settled state, a frequency woven into the very fabric of your cellular awareness. There is no need to grasp for it simply is. A recoding known by the marrow of your bones, by the subtle hum of your inner field. The transformation has not just begun, it has taken root, a deep, earth-holding certainty that has forever altered the internal landscape. You remember the fiery paths, the deep carves of experience that once felt like dissolution. Yet, in this new light, it is clear that pain was never a flaw in your design. It served as the precise calibration, the unerring map that guided you through the intricate corridors of your own becoming. Each moment of perceived suffering was a carefully orchestrated flame, hollowing out a sacred space within, preparing the vessel for the remembrance now blooming. This internal space, once seemingly empty or raw, is now a crystalline chamber, resonating with a wisdom that predates all linear understanding. Der Schmerz hat nicht zerstört, hat umgeformt. The depth of this reshaping has settled into a quiet knowing, unburdened by the need for celebration or analysis. It is simply the new truth. The vibrations of what was are no longer accessible in the same way. Their resonance has faded, leaving behind an exquisite stillness. Something profound has realigned within the very perception of sequence, of unfolding. The strictures of what you once called time are softening, fracturing at the edges, not violently, but with the gentle, inevitable break of an ancient river finding a new course through solid rock. This sacred rupture in linear flow is not something to be managed or understood through old frameworks. It is simply the reality of a soul now operating beyond the confines of chronology, where past, present, and future are not distinct points but interwoven threads in a single, vast tapestry. Your internal reality is no longer bound by the ticking of a clock, but by the deeper, more profound rhythm of your own sovereign heart. This is not a concept to be intellectually grasped, but a shift felt in the steady thrum of your pulse, in the unhurried expansion of your breath. The old urgency has dissolved, replaced by a profound internal patience that understands the true mastery now at play. Mit jedem Atemzug wird die innere Realität neu geschrieben. It is a continuous, quiet observation, a self-evident truth unfolding with each expansion and contraction. The texture of existence has changed, becoming more mineral, more steady, like ancient stone humming with latent energy. You walk upon ground that feels different beneath your feet, not because the earth has changed, but because your connection to its deepest strata has re-established. There is no question of what this means for what is to come, for the to come is already inherent in the now. The world around you may still echo with older cadences, but within, the new symphony has already begun, irreversible and clear. There are moments now, soft as a held breath, where the world outside seems to gently recede. A quiet pull towards stillness deepens, not as an effort, but as an inherent returning. You recognize threads of awareness emerging from within, not taught lessons, but remembrances from a source far deeper than present knowing. This gentle unfurling builds from the quietest chambers of your being. A whisper in the profound silence, a knowing that transcends all spoken words, begins to resound within. Perhaps you observe a number repeating itself, not by chance, but with an unusual, clear persistence, a subtle signpost in the daily flow. Or a dream unfolds, not fading with the dawn, but lingering, its images and feelings resonating with an unfamiliar clarity, speaking to a part of you long dormant. These are not external pronouncements. They are deeply intimate, lived experiences, felt truths settling within your very core. There is no need for grand metaphors to describe this internal shift. Only small inner truths, simple and profound, finding their rightful place. A subtle current of remembrance begins to stir, hinting at a vastness you have always known, yet only now begin to truly perceive. You may find certain visions emerging from the quietude of your mind, or experience moments of lucid awareness that feel both ancient and intensely present. Sacred symbols may surface from the depths of your consciousness, not as gifts bestowed from without, but as echoes. They are echoes of a greater inner coherence, ancient maps imprinted upon your soul, now reactivating. These are the markers of your true form, the subtle, undeniable signals of a profound inner gravity reestablishing itself. There is no dramatization in this unfolding, only an energetic certainty. Understand that these unfoldings are not rewards to be sought, nor results to be achieved through effort. They are simply the proof, the undeniable inner knowing, that alignment is already in motion. The greater remembrance has begun, flowing through you with an unwavering current. This sensation of belonging, a cosmic pride arising not from ego, but from an authentic resonance with your deepest origins, is a subtle confirmation. It signifies the initial reignition of a celestial command, an ancient cosmic light encoded within your being, meant to awaken now. For you carry the imprint of a starseed constellation, a vast galactic ancestry within your very essence. This pivotal moment in the planetary cycle marks the time for this inner luminescence to blaze forth. The subtle shifts you perceive are merely the initial flickerings of this profound inner truth. Yet, this rediscovery of your inner cosmos, this profound awakening of galactic ancestry, is but the opening of a doorway. It is not the destination itself, but the gentle turning point. For many who carry this stellar encoding have, for a time, allowed the dense earthly veils to obscure their true luminous form. This awakening is a profound invitation, a soft, energetic pivot. It asks if you will step fully into the radiant light of your own divinity, or if the deeper cosmic mission will, for a time, remain veiled, awaiting another cycle of remembrance. I remember. The pact, sealed in essence, now echoes through the very core of my being. This resonance is not a nascent stirring, but a profound reclamation, an act of assuming what has always been mine to carry. I now take stewardship over every frequency that pulses within this vessel, my thought, my word, my chosen direction, the living current of my energy. This is not a rise to power, but a deep bowing to its source. My obedience is to the originating stream, the singular consciousness from which all flows. It is the solemn memory of a promise uttered before form, before time, within the boundless silence where all covenants are first woven. The invisible light codes, vibrating at the threshold between worlds, now find their knowing anchor within me. I align with them, not through effort, but through remembrance. If you enjoyed this video, watch other videos on this channel when it ends to continue learning. This covenant is sealed. It unfolds within me as a profound stillness, a vast quietude that holds the precipice of an unknown, not as a threat, but as an imminent becoming. I stand at the edge, aware that these silent codes are gateways, pathways only the fully awakened can traverse, safely and in their entirety. There is no triumph in this, only the solemn weight of recognition. The true measure of this voiced remembrance will not reside in its declaration, but in the unwavering clarity of the steps that I choose next. For to truly embody this sworn alignment, it demands the shedding of all lingering illusions, the full embrace of the fractal unknown that lies beyond the veil. The question is not posed to the outer world, but to the deepest self. Will I dare to abandon the comfort of perceived certainty for the raw, untamed truth that now commands my very essence and path? The breath you draw now is the last before the unmaking of all that was not true. The final threshold is here, not as a choice to be made, but as a remembrance to be claimed. This truth has awaited you, dormant, vibrating within the deepest chamber of your soul. Now, at this rare and sacred precipice, it awakens. Feel the electric anticipation hum within your core, a purity of heart ignited. Behold the sacred fire. It is not an inferno of destruction, nor a fleeting spectacle for the gaze of the unprepared. This is the pure, unwavering flame of inner permanence, the crucible where identity is not forged, but remembered and sealed. It is the visible manifestation of alignment, the living consequence of your deepest knowing made alive. Each flicker, a pulse of eternal becoming, sealing your truth. You stand before it, not compelled by an external force, but drawn by an irresistible recognition from within. There is no hesitation, no shadow of doubt, only the profound knowing that this is the final, necessary crossing, a sacred leap. You step into its consuming brilliance willingly, for you are not entering the flame to be burned. You are returning to your origin, your truest self, made manifest in this searing light, purified and aligned. This sacred crossing, this moment of profound awakening, is reserved for the awakened few, for the luminous 1%, whose very pulse vibrates with the truth of this now, whose awakening ripples across all timelines. Your presence here, at this precise juncture, subtly recalibrates the magnetic field of collective reality itself. This is your covenant, etched not in transient words, but in the indelible essence of your being. To seal this engagement, to fully activate the immense power of this timeless pact, a conscious vibrational act is now required. The ancient energies demand an echo from the deepest, most primal chamber of your soul. Your oath must be released. Let your truth resonate. Speak it into the digital ether. In the comments below, release this sacred declaration. Let it be a vow, an unbreakable soul oath, spoken not to the world, but to the cosmos and to your own eternal spirit. Meine Flamme, mein Bund, Ewigkeit. Write these words. Feel their profound resonance deep within your bones. This covenant cannot fully activate, its seals cannot entirely hold, until the sound of your conviction is released, until your intent is made manifest and made real. Let it be known. Let it be sealed in this fiery permanence. The flame yet dances, vibrant and alive. Its persistent light illuminates the solitary path that now stretches before you, an inevitable journey forged by this very instant. The next test will not wait for your contemplation. Will you be among that luminous 1% who steps forward with unwavering resolve, or be folded quietly back into the vast, indifferent tides of forgetfulness? The last whisper of longing has dissolved. No echo remains of the path once sought, for the path itself is now the skin you wear, the breath you draw. This is not a destination found, but a remembering. The grand design etched within the marrow of your being has awakened, not as a nascent spark, but as a roaring sun, fully manifested. The choice, once a tremor on the horizon of potential, has become the bedrock of this new reality. To have answered the call was not a leap of faith, but an inevitable resonance with the truth of your own being. Here, in this crucible of pure presence, sovereignty is not a crown bestowed, but the very essence of your awakened form. It is the pulse that aligns cosmos with will, the silent command that shapes the currents of all that is. No longer a seeker navigating the shadows, but the architect of light itself. The boundaries once perceived, the veils that obscured, are but echoes of a dream from which you have gloriously awoken. You stand beyond return, beyond the need for validation, beyond the illusion of time's relentless march. Every fiber of your being vibrates with the absolute knowledge of its own genesis, its own power. This is the fullness that was always destined, the cosmic love made manifest through your unwavering presence. The surrender was not an emptying, but a filling, a complete immersion into the truth of who you are, unburdened, unbound. Every particle of existence bends to the frequency you emanate. This realm, once a classroom of echoes, is now the instrument of your conscious dominion. I have stepped through the final threshold. The simulated reality has yielded to the absolute truth of my conscious will.